This is KC Sports Tonight.
Happy Friday. Welcome into KC Sports Tonight. Marleah, Campbell here with Gabe Swartz. Gabe, we made it. Friday. Chiefs are off tomorrow. Another day in the books. 8 days away from preseason game number 1. You can see there August 10th in Jacksonville. Time is really flying at camp. You were up there this morning. Originally thought to be a 10-10-10 practice, which means you cycle through 10 offensive plays, 10 defensive plays, 10 minutes of special teams. But this was a full-blown 2-hour practice.
Yeah, they just kept going.
Full pads. Yeah. Maybe some top takeaways from this morning.
I think the top takeaway is what Andy Reid said, which is that he was really impressed. They did a lot of, in the team period of red zone work, and it was pretty balanced. They did the first section of first-team reps, and Mahomes kind of diced it up and got a bunch of touchdowns. There was a specific one of him rolling right. I think the Chiefs team account tweeted it this afternoon, and he just dumped one over the top to Rashee Rice late for a little touchdown. It kind of looked a little bit without the whole spin move, kind of like the flip touchdown pass against the Buccaneers a couple years ago, if you're trying to envision it in your mind without going and looking at the clip. So that was kind of the highlight in my mind. But then they come back, they run all the second teamers, and they come back with the first team again. And then there was a tip ball over the middle. I think it was Leo Chenal that got it and tipped it up. Brian Cook intercepted it. So it was pretty balanced, both offense and defense having bright spots. And I think that was something that Andy Reid really highlighted as what he wanted to see. You know, there's always if the offense is doing too great, it's like, oh, the defense is getting worked. And if the defense is doing great, it's like, what is going wrong with the offense?
Right. But
there was really good balance of good stuff from both units today.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's the blessing and the curse of camp, right? Is, oh, man, the offense had a great day. Essentially means the defense had a terrible day and vice versa. So once we get to preseason games, we'll have a little bit more of a, you got to be at this point in camp. We're on day 11. Just tired of going against the same guys day in and day out, and you're kind of like inching towards the finish line. Last week at camp, you'll have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You'll take Thursday, Friday off, and then Jacksonville. So these guys, you can tell they're itching to finally get going here.
Well, and there was questions to read about the preseason game next Saturday, and it's like reporters are itching for the preseason game. And Andy Reid's like, yeah, I know these guys are ready to hit somebody else at this point. So I feel like we're like, check your watch, we're due for a training camp spat, a little fight at some point of just,
I
it's
heard
hot out there.
Isaiah Pacheco and Drew Tranquill getting added a little bit today.
Yeah, the pass protection reps kind of got heated,
Chippy.
But that's to be expected.
And that's what you want too, right? You want competitiveness at camp. But ever since we hit the single-digit day countdown to preseason game number 1, I've been itching to get to it. It feels like all off season is like this too. We're like, first the draft, you're excited about that, and then rookie minicamp, and then the whole team's here, and then but it's OTAs, a mandatory minute. There's just like these little nibbles to get you to the season. We are genuinely close now, but we still have a lot to talk about. One of them being this guy right here, Carson Wentz. Chiefs now on their third QB2 in 3 seasons. Carson Wentz, of course, small little Kansas connection in that he played for North Dakota State when K-State head coach Chris Kleiman was at North Dakota State. Fun fact of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But, I think he looks great at camp. He took the podium today. Gabe, your takeaways on our new QB2?
Yeah, he definitely looks really good at camp. I think that he looks as qualified to be QB2 as anybody has in recent years, and it's not because Blaine Gabbert wasn't good or Chad Henne wasn't good. Chad Henne stepped up in a playoff game. Matt Moore a couple years ago stepped up when Patrick Mahomes dislocated his knee. So there's been capable and really solid backup quarterback play for the Chiefs for the last couple of years. But I think having a Pro Bowler from 2017 back there is really helpful. I know 2017 is more than half a decade ago at this point, but Carson Wentz is capable. He's 31, so it's not like he's hanging on at the end of his career or anything. This is kind of like a stock. He's just trying to rebuild his stock and try to find something else. But he seemed open to it. He said he's learning from Patrick Mahomes. He was joking today. He's like, people were asking him what he's learned, and he's like, he's good like that.
Yeah, I heard him say he's like, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. So it looks just as impressive in person as it has seeing him from around the league for Wentz. But to me, what I noticed and what I've seen is he's got a pretty decent connection with Nico Remigio in the second team unit, with the group of guys that he's frequently getting to throw the ball to. That's kind of stood out, and I would say that it just looks really fluid, and it doesn't look rough at all. So if the Chiefs need Wentz in a pinch, or if they wrap up the division early like they did last year, and they have a Week 18 game to have somebody start. I think Wentz started a Week 18 game last year for the Rams. He can step in and maybe provide a little bit more offense than the Chiefs had this year when they had Gabbert going out there against the Chargers at the end of the season.
You see down there, number 2 overall pick in 2016. I think this is a great offseason signing by the Chiefs. And this is a tough position to play because if you think about it, like if everything goes well, best case scenario, we won't see him take a snap all season unless, like you said, in a Week 18 game. So tough job for him, especially, being the starter back early in his career. But he seems to really be buying in with this system. And, again, getting to work out with Patrick Mahomes every day is certainly something you can't knock. But, I think this is going to set up the Chiefs well if, forbid anything happens to Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes it's, the cracked helmet. You got to come out for a rep and come back in. Little things like that. I think we can have a lot of confidence in Carson Wentz.
And that time in Philly, he was speaking about it. That's with Doug Peterson.
Yep.
That's former Andy Reid assistant. So it's a pretty similar system, and that's where he played his best football in his career. I know that the torn ACL in 2017 at the end of that season kind of derailed the most part of his career, because then the Eagles went and won the Super Bowl without him playing the starter role. But that's where he played his best football, is in this system, which I know that Andy Reid has all these different wrinkles and different weird plays and all that Peterson has a little bit of, but not to the same level or to the same success. But it just should allow Wentz to be really comfortable in year one, even if this is just a 1-year rental and the Chiefs are on to a 4th backup in 4 years next year, which is possible.
Yeah, very well could happen. I want to throw in one little anecdote from camp before we move on, and I don't feel bad for telling this because the Chiefs team account tweeted it out. First day of full camp, all the players reporting. Carson Wentz was walking down the hill, and I'm filming him, and all I see him just like stumble and almost fall on like a flat surface. And I was like, what the heck? And I looked at that video and I was like, I kind of feel bad, like, tweeting this out or anything. And then the Chiefs account tweeted it out. So I was like, okay, I don't feel as bad anymore. But seems to be bonding with that group really well. Couldn't ask for a better quarterback room, I think, heading into the season. I think Chiefs can feel really confident about QB2, which moves me to a quarterback competition. Not really a competition, maybe for that 3rd string practice squad spot. This is, though, the offensive line saga continues to kind of get more interesting as we get late into camp here. Today, rookie Kingsley Suamataia. I think I got that today. I've been getting reps.
Andy Reid's been, when he was
making fun of
reporters today, being like, did you get it? Close.
You'll hear a lot of people say Kingsley or the BYU product, including me.
The rookie?
Yeah, the rookie. I'm going to do that probably for the rest of the segment. But he continued to get starting reps at left tackle today, but we got a little bit of a kind of unique insight into maybe why, which we'll get into in a second. But the storyline of the day, Wanya Morris. I'm going to switch the stats on the bottom there. There you go. Wanya Morris, the second-year guy out of Oklahoma, left practice early with a left shoulder injury. So he left on the front of the cart, which is better news than leaving on the back of the cart. But we don't really have any insight into the severity of that injury yet. I'm sure those conversations are going on as we speak. Fortunately, again, the Chiefs get the day off tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see if he's back on the field on Sunday. Because this could be anything from a tweak to, maybe he's out for a period of time. We don't know. So the other interesting part is Morris, when he was practicing, because he got a good bulk of practice in before he was sidelined, was actually getting in at left guard in place of Joe Thuney. And the rookie was, again, getting those left tackle reps. But Andy Reid in the post-practice press conference said that, this isn't permanent. This isn't necessarily the way we're going to go. It's an opportunity to get Wanya reps at guard a little bit. We're going to keep Kingsley where he is because he's a rookie and he needs as many reps as he can possibly get at the position we want to play him at. But he was asked straight up, does this, what we've been seeing with the O-line rotation, mean that the left tackle job is locked down? He said, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, and that's why I think that it's as we discussed yesterday of, is it really locked up? Is it more locked up than they're willing to lead on? And I think that that's kind of the case at the moment. But
sure,
it's also been, you've seen left guard snaps for Hunter Norzad as well, and he's a pretty versatile guy out of Penn State that they drafted this year later in the draft. I do think that it's just a matter of their best case scenario is getting Kingsley as oriented at left tackle as possible. And that seems to be what the goal of camp has been, is to get him up to speed as fast as possible. And he's getting trial by fire in terms of just getting as many first-team reps as possible. And George Karlaftis said today, he's like, I think he's going to be a heck of a player. He's liked what he's seen. And he admitted he hasn't necessarily gone up against him as much because he lines up typically on the other side of the football. But he said Mike Dana has, and Mike Dana has been singing his praises as well. So if the defensive linemen are impressed by the rookie, that's a good sign, at least in my eyes.
Yeah, and that felt like a really genuine answer. It wasn't kind of your token, like, yeah, he's doing great for a rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a bummer for Wanye today, just because, you know, this is such a potentially close competition, and he's getting rotated in there with the first team. So to go down to injury is tough for him at this point in camp. But again, we don't know the severity of this. We'll find out tomorrow. Not tomorrow. We won't find out tomorrow. We'll find out Sunday.
Yeah.
Chiefs are off tomorrow. Nothing comes at a good time when it comes to injury, but having the day off tomorrow is nice for him to be able to maybe rest a little bit and get off his shoulder a little bit. All right, we're going to move on to a topic that I'll say this. We surprisingly haven't talked much about at training camp, and which is Patrick Mahomes. And the reason why is because camp is all about, for us, I think, who's going to start and who's going to make the 53. Maybe, you know, who are some sleepers who actually might make the roster, who are some bubble guys. What we were just talking about, the battle for left tackle, who's going to get the job. Mahomes is locked in, right? I mean, there's no conversation to have there. He's having an excellent camp, as expected, but it's worth bringing up today, right? We haven't talked about him enough.
Yeah,
on
we
this
haven't
podcast.
talked about him very much.
So your impressions of, you've been at camp a couple days in a row now, how he's looking in a somewhat live action.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good. I would say
in the words of Carson Wentz, he's pretty
it's one of those things where it's like we're so locked in on the roster battles and all those types of things, and if you're just going up to St. Joe and just saying, I want to get a peek at Patrick Mahomes, I don't want to go to a preseason game, or I'm not going to be able to make it to a regular season game. This is a great chance to get there, see it up close and personal.
Yeah,
There's plenty of very impressive throws. You see him, he connected at least once in one of the routes on air segments with Xavier Worthy today. A couple deep balls in the 7-on-7 period with Hollywood Brown that were impressive, and it just looks really good. And the thing that everybody keeps talking about, Carson Wentz was talking about it being the fastest team that he's ever been a part of.
Yeah.
And that's really apparent, and it just seems like the vertical passing game should be really back with this team. And that's where I think that you unlock more than 27 touchdowns, more than 4,100 yards. And I was
firepower.
Standing there in the media tent today watching practice, and just to the side, you're overhearing fans and stuff. And Mahomes hit one of the deep balls today, and somebody goes, I think he might throw for 6,000 yards this year. And I was like, that's pretty aggressive. But,
I like it.
People are liking what they're seeing so far at camp.
Yeah, and a lot of that does have to do with, it's funny, I say we haven't talked about Mahomes enough, and I'm going to talk about someone else, his weapons, right? I mean, last year there were several. I'm going through like a dystopic highlight reel in my head of all the times that Mahomes hit guys in the chest and they bobbled it. That obviously led the league in drops. We've hammered that on the head many times over the course of the last 12 months. But his weapons this year, I mean, bringing in Xavier Worthy, bringing in Hollywood Brown, in camp has seemed to be like he's connecting really, really well with those guys right away. I think about like a Sky Moore. It seems like Sky's never really gotten on the same page as Mahomes. Like there's just been kind of this like tick off. That doesn't seem to be the case early with Xavier Worthy and Hollywood Brown, which all of the guys that are at camp are extremely talented, so sometimes that's the difference between guys that can really make plays for this offense versus guys that are, on the bubble for getting on a roster.
And you're just seeing a lot of the things that you expected or you saw last year toward the end of the regular season and the playoffs of what made Rashee Rice really come into his own as one of the best rookie receivers in the NFL.
Yeah.
There's a lot of if you're just there for a day at camp, you're seeing a lot of that from him this year.
Yep.
Where we discussed it again yesterday of who knows when the suspension might come or what it would be or if it comes this year or next year, whatever it is. When he's on the field, he's looking like he's just continuing to build on that connection with Mahomes very, very well.
Yeah, I think overall, if you look at the stock of the receiver room as a whole this year versus last year, I feel way better going into it this year, which is funny because at last year's camp, I don't think we had, I looked at the receiver room and I was like, okay, I think they're going to have a pretty good year. Obviously, they didn't really until they stepped up in the postseason really well. And in this, I don't count Travis Kelce. I'm talking about the wide receiver room. But yeah, good year for Mahomes so far at camp, and I wanted to have this on the topic list too because one of my favorite videos of training camp came up today. KC Sports Network tweeted it out. I think it was during a non-media shooting portion of practice. KC Sports Network goes as fans, so they were in the crowd today. And it's Mahomes on a long stick, putting his head down, spinning in circles 4 times, blindfolded, then takes a football and fires it and tries to hit a target.
Everybody around him is just chuckling.
I'm like, first of all, how did you guys even come up with this idea? Second of all, who said, okay, let's go ahead and do it? And then third, he did it. I mean, he hit his target on the third try, and I mean, I don't think you would see this anywhere else in the NFL.
Yeah, they're just very comfortable with where things are at. You've seen that.
Yeah.
There's some days where they're out there throwing it for the uprights, trying to hit the crossbar. They're just a loose bunch, which is good.
Mahomes went behind the back today during, just kind of handoff drills and things. And you've seen a couple just shuffles. I know there was a 3-4 handoff play the other day. So Chiefs having fun at training camp. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch that drill, I would recommend it because it's just so goofy. And Mahomes actually nails it. I don't know if anyone's ever tried. Have you ever tried that where you put your head down and spin a couple times?
I've done dizzy bats before.
Pin the tail on the donkey
and then trying
to
hit a ball off of a tee, but never trying to throw a
football into
afterwards.
A very small target. Yeah. Okay, we are going to move on to our final topic of the day. Got a couple minutes left to dive into this one. Royals picked up a big win yesterday, 7-1 over the Tigers. I mean, this is just massive. Important time for the Royals. And Bobby Wood Jr., you can see there, becomes the first player with 20-plus home runs, 20-plus stolen bases in his first 3 MLB seasons. Not a bad day overall, Gabe.
Anytime you can be the first person in baseball history, which dates back to the 1870s, that they keep track of things.
Yeah,
and you're the first person
here
to ever do this. It's pretty impressive stuff. We just keep saying that about Bobby, but I mean, it's good to see him getting some protection in the lineup. Vinny Pasquantino with 3 home runs in the last 2 days, and last night was a pretty stress-free Seth Lugo win, which got him back into a tie for most wins in baseball this year, and he's just continued to add to his resume. And tonight you're going to get one of the best pitching matchups in baseball with Reagans versus Skubal. I'm really, really excited to see what comes of that one.
Yeah, that one happening as we speak. Quick look at the AL Central right now. Royals only 6 games out of first place behind the Guardians, and they have a semi-comfortable-ish, not really, 2-game lead over the Twins. And then, it gets to about 10 over the Tigers. So, still a big race. These are still extremely important games. I think one thing that fans can rest easy with right now is knowing that the Royals have really hit their offensive stride at this point of the season, where this is where things need to steadily climb upwards, and you're seeing that. And you're riding on the wave of course, Bobby Wood Jr., but Jared and I were talking on the show the other day. What makes a team you can really be excited about is having that cornerstone superstar, Bobby Wood Jr., but then also having that supporting cast, and the Royals have that right now. We were sitting on the show this time yesterday, and we're like, I wonder what the score is. And Vinny Pasquantino hit a 3-run home run. So a lot of different guys, capable of stepping up in big moments. And man, this one feels like we're in really critical crunch time for the Royals to just kind of keep this train moving forward.
I mean, we talked earlier in the week with Jared about the importance of not necessarily, you're not going to balance the home road splits offensively because they've hit so well at home compared to on the road. But you can't be a bottom 5 team in baseball on the road and expect to really contend. But I mean, 10 runs on Wednesday afternoon against the White Sox and then 7 runs last night, like that's a step in the right direction, and you just have to keep continuing that throughout this weekend. So there's that, and then you've got the first start of Michael Lorenzen to look forward to on Saturday and see what that looks like, and just building off of that before they come home for a really, really important series with the Red Sox early next week. Yeah,
that's going to be exciting. Big series right now. Again, Game 2 underway as we speak. We'll have highlights from this one tonight at 10. Reminder, no training camp tomorrow. The Chiefs are off, so we will not have anyone up in St. Joe, but KC Sports tonight at 10:30 over on KCTV5 Weekend Edition. Jared Kohler's going to be with you with all the best highlights of the week. Should be a lot of fun there. And for now, we're going to let you go. This is one of the last Fridays in a long time that we don't have a Red Friday, official Red Friday. So I'll take it. All right, thanks, Gabe.
Thanks.